You're watching MVBN, the Medina Valley Broadcast Network.
Good evening and welcome to Sports for Supper at Sammy's, our third edition this season. I'm Jared Lucky along with Maury Stein, Marcus Fuentes, and Jeff Stivers, and we are going to have volleyball here in just a few minutes.
Volleyball, Jared, since the school times have changed, practices start a little bit later, and the teams are having trouble getting, they get out of practice a little bit later, so we have to make some adjustments, and normally we would have our athletic director report, but unfortunately Coach Bull couldn't be here tonight to fill up some of the time, so we're getting a little bit later start. As I speak, Coach Disa Stein comes on in.
Disa Griggs.
Disa Griggs.
It's been a while.
Wow. Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Good.
It's good to have you back on here again this year. And so tell us a little bit about your team this year. What do you want us to know about them since this is your first time on this year?
Well, right now we're 11-13, 0-0 in district. We've played a very tough pre-district schedule, making great strides and improving. Just need to figure out how to win and do things in clutch situations. So finding a leader right now on the court who is willing to take over when we need them to take over. I think that's the last piece that we need, someone who will carry the team on their back, so to speak, if we need that.
Well, you've had another year last year of, I don't know how many years in a row that you have sent somebody to play volleyball past high school, so you're going to keep that record going this year? You have some that have the potential of playing at the next level?
I think Danielle may want to play, so it kind of depends on what her offer is. I know there's younger girls that want to play that are not senior. I only have 2 seniors, so that could be a good or bad thing. I have 11 on the team, so that could be a good or bad thing. Everyone's playing a lot, so nobody's disgruntled about playing time.
That's a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's just the wear and tear on our bodies right now. We're pretty tired, so
Well, it starts Friday. Everybody's 0-0
Yeah,
going
we're all
into
gonna
Friday.
be fine on Friday.
Who is the biggest?
Well, if you read the San Antonio paper, it's Southwest is the team to beat. They're 20-3. There's a big write-up on them. Harlandale's always going to be hard. McCollum, I think, is going to be better this year than they were last year. And then there's South San. We played them. We lost in 2 in a tournament. It's going to be a good matchup every Tuesday and Friday night.
Good.
It's all on you. You're broadcasting volleyball this year.
Well, being thrown into this with the understanding I'm going to be doing it. The girls on yesterday, they played Floresville. Second set, y'all took, I believe. First one y'all lost, but I do have to say that first set was exciting. The second one, obviously y'all took, but how can I say,
You'll learn the lingo.
I know. Well, she brought up a good point. You're saying you're looking for that one person to take over, and I've noticed 2 girls on the court who look like they wanted to. I don't want to name names, but I think it is going to be interesting here, and I think during the first part of the district, hopefully someone will step up. I'm sure they will. And 2 seniors, that is a very young team, so wow.
You haven't had to deal with only 2 seniors in the past few years. You've had a pretty senior-heavy team, right?
Usually it's 5. Last year was a lot. I think going back to 2019, I had 3. So, it just kind of depends,
And what kind of numbers do y'all have at the freshman JV levels? Are you seeing more turnout as the years progress
we do
now?
have more people out. We have smaller rosters. So I have 11, JVS 12, our freshmen have 13. Kind of like that's random that I said that out loud. It wasn't for any other reason. Usually we keep 12 to 14. But this year, knowing we only had 2 seniors and we had many returning that have a year of experience, we knew that we needed to get a lot of playing time, a lot of reps, develop some leadership skills.
So who would you want to step up to be that one person? Is there somebody you have in mind? They just need to show you out on the
or do you know I want to say?
Court, or
you might not want to say.
Well, I
get that.
I mean, is there somebody you would like to groom that to take over in that spot?
It is really hard to appoint that to somebody. That to me is just like
you have to.
It's
have
just
it
an
in you.
inherent trait that you have.
Yeah.
You know, and the fear of stepping up, taking responsibility, and it might not pan out. It just might not. And being okay with that. You know, you might have enough to help, but you know, I just think it's something that one of them has to figure out they can do and shoulder it and take control. And we'll see who steps up.
So do you have, how many sophomores are on the?
I have 2 sophomores. I have 2 seniors, and then I have that's 4.
7
juniors. Mm-hmm.
And how many other juniors were on the team last year?
3. Got lots of playing time.
Wow. Very young then.
I mean, we're young, but we have experience. It's just not in the capacity that they are in this year. So, yes, you know, Abby has experience, but she's having to do more jobs. And, yes, Alana has experience, but she's having to play 6 rotations. So it's varsity experience, but not in the set that they're being asked to do this year, if that makes sense. Like, it's a different role. So, you know.
Yeah, asking to learn kind of new positions. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And how big of a challenge has that been for you to have to try to coach that and, you know, instill that in them?
We have great kids. They're looking at me because I got mad at them today. But they want to do well, and they are pleasers. They don't want to let you down. I think the problem is that maybe they like each other too much. So they don't want to get on a teammate for not doing what they're supposed to do in a nice way, of course. So, yeah, I think everyone has accepted their role and trying to do the best job that they can.
So all 11 are getting in
Every game.
Pretty
much, yes. Yeah, and you may get put in as a right side this set, and the next set you might have to do a middle and left side split. And that's the good thing. They're athletes and they can play multiple positions. So we're more versatile than we were last year with less numbers. So we only have 11. We had 15 last year, but we have multiple people who can play more than one spot.
And does that kind of depend on what you're seeing from the opposition as to who's going to do what this game and that?
Yes, so we have to play defense in order to stay in the game. So if we need a bigger block or we need someone to get more touches on the ball, we're going to put someone different on right side. If our left side isn't scoring points, then we may shift her over and be a right side blocker to slow the ball down so we can put someone out there to score points. So ultimately we have to play defense first, and we know that. So we have to take care of that and then hope our offense picks up.
What's kind of the biggest challenge that South San poses to you?
It'll be a pretty crazy environment. So we're going to have to be able to compete in a loud environment with lots of fans, and then be able to score points and not take it personal if we have to swing 10, 12, 14 times in a rally to put a ball down, because they'll be scrappy. And it's everybody's first district game, so everybody's 0-0, so everybody wants to end the night with a win.
Right. And you said you've played them twice this year in tournaments, correct?
Just once.
Just once. Okay.
We lost 2 sets.
2 sets. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I took that wrong.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I mean, you've seen them, so you have something to base this
Right.
game off of. So I mean,
Right.
there's something to scout for, I guess you could
Right,
say.
and I hope that a lot of people have our early games on tape, and they're scouting that, and that's what they're looking at, because we're completely different than we were at the beginning of August.
So you've seen a big change in your team since when they came in to now.
Yeah. It just takes us a while.
Would this be one of your smallest teams you've had in a while as far as height-wise?
No. We're just small framed. Like, we play people that are tall and big, so they have heavy arms. They're just bigger people than us. And I don't mean that in a bad way.
Right.
It's just that they're like a piece of furniture.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing because of that, they can get more behind, like a spike, things like that. They can get more behind it and quicker, faster.
Yeah, it's a faster arm swing, harder ball. Like, we've come up there. No one in district is going to hit a ball harder than us than we've already seen. No way. No way, no how.
In some of the teams you played, I guess, in tournaments and non-district, have y'all played some really?
Played 2 that haven't been good, but the rest of the 24 matches have been tough.
And that helps you come district, and there's you can learn a lot more from playing better teams than you can against blowing somebody out.
We are. We're under the radar. We're not ranked. I mean, so the expectation is everyone thinks they're going to beat us. So we just have to go prove them wrong.
That should help take kind of the pressure off of you,
there's no pressure on us. We're not supposed to win. According to most people.
Oh, okay.
Not according to us.
Not according to y'all, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, we're expected to win. According to me.
According to the coach.
Yeah.
So tell
go to playoffs for the 7th year in a row.
Hopefully. Yes.
So yes.
Yes.
So tell us about the 3 young ladies you brought with you that we're going to talk to here in a minute.
Well, closest to me, I have Lexi Tedford. She's a 3-year letterman. She's the starter. Setter, plays 3 rotations a setter, and she is one of my captains. Abby Bill plays some middle and some right side. She's a 2nd-year letterman. She's having to take on the role of being more offensive-minded and not just a blocker. And then I have Alana, 2nd year on varsity. She's a transfer from San Antonio. We got her last year. She is a 6-rotation athlete, so she doesn't come off the floor unless she is hurting or unless she's just having a really bad day.
Well, Coach, you got anything else?
No.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you being here, and hopefully we'll see you again before the year's out, and good luck in the game Friday night.
Thank you.
And that's, just so everyone knows, that's going to be our first broadcast of the season for volleyball. Marcus and Jeff will be there.
I believe start time 6.
Yep.
Varsity,
Yeah, varsity start time 6 o'clock, and we'll be on the air.
Somewhere thereafter, it depends what time the JV finishes.
Yeah. But we're going to go and talk to the players now, and if you'll just tell us your name, position, all that, and then we'll go from there.
I'm Lexi Tedford. I'm number 13. I'm a setter and a senior.
And Coach Grigg said you were a 3-year letterman, right? This is your 4th year on varsity?
I was on varsity.
You were on okay. And so tell us a little bit about being, and you're one of the 2 seniors on the team, so tell us a little bit about being one of the older ones and having to kind of bring these younger players in.
Yeah, so they're a younger team, whatever, and they kind of can get down on themselves, like they're very hard on themselves, so we just have to try to reel them in and be like, hey, you're good, next play, shake it off, and that kind of stuff.
Do you like being signaled out as one of the captains, one of the leaders? Have you accept that responsibility of picking them up, or if they need to have a little tongue lashing, you ain't afraid to do that either?
Yeah, so they all call me Mama Lex, so that's just kind of how it is. They're all my kids, and yeah.
Nope.
No.
Still ain't
sorry.
in the groove.
So tell us a little bit about your role on the court. Like, what are you looking for, when the balls hit you? You're a setter, correct?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about, who your hitters are, who you're listening for, that kind of thing.
So how our rotation is set up, I have almost everyone to set. So it's just trying to find who's hot that night, or where certain people need the ball, because not all of us are very tall. So then they need the ball kind of off the net or on. And then it depends if the block is big, then to go around them.
So tell us about your biggest challenge against South San. What you have to look for.
I think they'll tip to the setter a lot just to try to wear me out or get me out of system so I can't set. So I just have to be ready for it.
In other words, to not let you set up your offense.
They'll make you be the first touch, right? Yeah.
Right.
So
what happens when that happens? Like what how do you combat that?
So if the setter is out, that's what we call it, then normally left back, which is our libero, goes and takes the second ball. And then they'll set up someone on the pins.
And you all kind of rotate based on if they're trying to do that? Like you rotate around to try to get them to not do that?
We
Or
just work on that kind of offense. So
Okay.
that's just, something we work on 3 times a week, putting a ball up to where we can swing
And is the libero the same every opponent, or does it depend what they do on offense as far as what the libero?
Our
who the
libero has been the
is?
same the whole year. So, anyone can put up a second ball, but normally it's the libero. Like, she knows if setter gets it. And if, that's not to say if it's a bad pass that someone else wouldn't have to put it in play, but we work on that so we're able to hit at them.
So communication is key as to who gets that second ball.
Communication is like
all depends on where the libero is.
95% of the game.
Right.
Yeah.
And so tell me a little bit about this. When you're out there, you hear tons of voices, I would imagine. How do you pick out who's who and know what's going on around you?
Well, I always tell them, I'm like, I set more to sound. So, like, sometimes they'll be like, don't set me. And I'm like, don't say that. Just don't say anything. Like, I just kind of hear and then.
So if you hear, you're going to go that direction. If you don't hear,
yeah, most
not
of the
going
time, like,
there.
whoever's loudest, like, then you're going to be getting the ball more. Because I'm confident that you know that you're going. Like, you're going to be there for the ball.
Do you do other sports other than volleyball?
No, sir.
And any plans after high school?
I'm currently planning to go to A&M.
She's a salutatorian.
Oh,
wow.
Nice.
She can go anywhere she wants to go.
Yeah.
That can't change. You can't get to number 1, can you?
It's a small gap, but no, I don't think so.
Oh, just asking. I know it was a big, when I was in school, the two that were competing for it were very at each other's throat about it. So, well, good luck in the season coming up here and or in district play, and as you move on into life, and we'll move on to the next young lady here with us.
Maybe be the next president.
Yeah.
No.
No. Name, position, all that, and we'll go from there.
I'm Abby Beal. I'm a middle and right side, and I'm a junior in high school.
And so, tell us about your position. You said middle and right side.
Yes.
Tell us what your main thing is.
Well, I'm trying to work on my offense right now, like this season, because last season I was more just like a big block at the net, but now I'm trying to work on like my arm swing and timing all the balls right that Lexi or Alana are setting me.
So what?
And just working on like scoring points and trying to find points whenever we need it.
What is the main exercise or that you do to improve that, your arm strength and your swing speed?
We in practice we like hit off boxes to work on our arm swing, so we can learn how to like place balls and like where we need to hit.
When you say hit off boxes, you're standing on it and
Yes.
jumping off,
No,
or do you just stand on
we're
it and hit?
standing on it and
I
we're
got
just
you.
swinging over the
I got
net.
you. I got you.
Are they feeding you those balls? Or
Yes,
do you
it's
hit
just a little toss.
just a little toss?
Yes.
As far as you said we're middle, so you're obviously blocking. What is the difference from middle to right side? I know mainly middle is mainly blocking. So for you, which do you prefer at this time?
I prefer blocking middle because I find it easier to close the block and go to my pin than to set up the pin and have the middle come over to me.
Gotcha.
And for everyone that doesn't, what is the pin?
The pin is the outside or the right side,
Okay.
so like the left or right hitter.
Okay.
So you just play one side in the middle and then you sub out after that, or
No,
you
I
play
through
all three
rotation,
in the
yes.
front?
Yeah.
Okay. So which is the harder side? Which side would you prefer? Which is your favorite side, the right or the left?
My favorite side is middle right now. Oh, right. Sorry.
The right.
So are you right-handed or left-handed?
I'm right-handed.
So would it be easier if you're swinging with like the sideline closest to your dominant hand, or the other way? Like
for me, it's the other way. 'Cause
Okay.
It's a matter of tracking the ball
Yeah.
to your hitting shoulder.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's hard. I mean, it's harder to track it over here. So if you have what we would say you're kind of goofy footed, or you've got a different swing, so to speak, it kind of allows you a little bit more room for error because you have more time for it to get to your hand.
That makes
Whereas
sense.
when you're on
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
left side, it's right here, so you've got to be more precise with your arm.
Okay.
Diamond.
Yeah, that makes
That
sense.
makes sense.
Yeah, and that
Yeah, it
does
does
100%
now,
make
yeah.
sense.
So that being said, would a lefty be more favorable on the left side or the right side as a left-handed
Right
hitter?
side.
A lefty is right side.
Right side.
Most lefties will play right side.
Gotcha.
But when you have someone who can play like a lefty that's on the left side, then is that like goofy for the defense? Like, is it harder
Well,
for
just
as a defender? Is it
just
harder
being
to
a left-handed hitter is we're
It's
a
just
right-handed
hard.
world.
Right.
So I mean, there's been many times that we play a left-hander and it takes us at least 2 rotations around to figure out, oh, she's still left-handed.
Yeah.
So you have to block that side of her instead of the right side.
Right. And
So
yeah.
they have the advantage. Lefties have the advantage,
Yeah.
and it comes off their hand different also. So it tails a different way as opposed to a right hand.
I mean, that makes sense. It's you don't think about that until you actually start talking about it, and then it's like, okay, that makes a lot more sense, you know. But I would, you said you like blocking and defense and all that kind of stuff. Why? What's like your favorite? If you stuff somebody at the net, like does that pump you up a
Yes,
lot? You
that's
know.
yes, that's my favorite thing to
Yeah.
do.
So as a team, when things are kind of going against you and you got to turn it around, what's like that one key thing you're looking for? Is it a big block like that, or somebody to just knock the crap out of one?
Yeah,
you know
I
what?
think it's just trying to find a smart point, like a quick tip or deep shot to like 1 or 5.
And that's all it really takes is one little thing like that to
Yeah.
turn the whole momentum around, right? And so, were you on varsity last year as a sophomore?
I was.
So, coming from being a sophomore to junior, and then you'll have next year. What's your biggest improvement you've seen in yourself from being sophomore to junior, and then what's the biggest improvement you want to see going forward?
So far, I think my biggest improvement has been like being able to score points offensively, because last year I didn't really score that often offensively, but this year I've gotten more consistent when hitting. And then next year I hope to just improve more off of offense and be even more confident and consistent.
Okay.
Lexi, I have one more question for you. How do you know when to set it or when to,
Well,
what do you call it?
dump it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll normally like tell me like, hey, your 3's open, or Danielle, our libero, will like give me the sign because like she can see the court a lot better than I can since she's like all the way back there.
So it's
But-
something that somebody else kind of triggers you on it, or is it something that you say, okay, that if this person I see out of the corner of my eye isn't where I think they should be, that gives you the opportunity, or it's not something that's called before the ball's even in the air, is it?
It's not like before, but it's like, hey, like you have that option if like the ball lets you do that, or if like it's a tight ball and like all I can do is like put it back over, then that's what I can do.
Tight
Okay.
ball meaning close to the net,
Yes.
coming to you close to the
Like
net
if the pass is like tight on the net, then sometimes I just have to like push it over the net.
because you can't get a good set.
Right.
Okay. And then Abby. Abby or Abigail?
Abby.
Abby, you want to go by Abby? Okay, because I see you listed as Abigail, so I was wondering that. Okay.
And do you play other sports other than volleyball?
Yes, I run track.
You run track. What
run
do you?
and jump.
What do you run?
I run the 4x1 and then the 4x2.
Why
and
is
the
that
open
so funny?
100.
Why is everyone laughing?
Nothing. And then for field, I do triple and long jump.
Okay, cool.
What's your height, if you don't mind?
I'm 5'11".
5'11". Okay.
And well, good luck in the season coming
Thank
up.
you.
And we'll talk to the young lady at the end of the table. If you'll tell us your name, all that.
My name's Alana Smith, and I am a setter hitter kind of, and I'm a sophomore.
You're a sophomore, and they, Coach Grigg said you came from another San Antonio school and moved in here. Where did you come from?
Well, I came from a middle school named
Okay.
Bernal.
Okay.
so-
Okay. And so you're a sophomore. Tell us a little bit about being on varsity as a sophomore. What is that? Was it?
You were on last year, weren't you, on the varsity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. As a
Yes.
freshman, you were on varsity. So,
Yeah.
so have you seen a big change in your game from freshman to sophomore? Like, what's the biggest thing you've seen in you over the year?
I definitely feel like I'm more confident and I talk a lot more. Like, being a freshman on varsity, I was very, like, to myself. I wasn't very, like, I don't know, like
outspoken
outgoing.
on the
Yeah. But now that it's my second year on varsity, I definitely feel like more confident and I can talk a lot more.
Like, even some of the other sophomores that are out there, you have more playing experience than them on the varsity level.
Definitely, I think because I was new to the school my freshman year and I was on varsity, I was mainly with upperclassmen. So those were my first friends. So, like, I do definitely feel like
You learned a lot from them, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about South Stand. What's the biggest challenge you're going to see where your position normally is?
Well, as a hitter, I definitely feel like instead of just swinging, I have to use like smart shots, like knowing when to tip, knowing when to swing, knowing when to place the ball instead of just swinging.
And is that something you look for in the middle of the play, or is that something like you'll see like this is something they're doing? I'm going to try this to make them change.
Yeah. Every now and then, yes, and then sometimes it always helps. I have my DSs telling me where I can put the ball, if I can swing. So it's really helpful.
And are you more comfortable on the right or the left side?
I'm more comfortable on the right side.
Okay.
Was there one person last year that kind of, being you were new to the team and to the school, was there one person on the team last year that kind of took you under their wing and kind of helped you out a little bit, that you can say, okay, she kind of helped me be who I am and kind of helped you go into this upcoming year?
I have two people. The first person that I met was Grace Medley. She was the first one to talk to me, and the first one, like, she was my pepper partner for every game. And then soon it was Abby. She would come in and she'd mess around and we'd joke around all the time. And it was like those two really helped me out.
Pepper, that's when you're spiking it and there's...
Yeah,
when
you're warming up, yeah.
I know what that is in baseball, but I was just, okay.
Do you do other sports? Or will you?
Probably not.
Okay.
As a hitter, when you're getting ready to hit the ball, is it more placement or more trying to shoot through the defender's arms?
It's definitely more placement because I'm not a high jumper. I'm not very tall. So it's like I got to know when I can swing full on and I got to know when I have to put the ball somewhere. Yeah.
It didn't really seem to bother you not being that tall last year. You put quite a few of them away last year already, so I don't think you have any problem with that aspect of it.
And I guess it's repetition, but trying to be precise. Like you want to hit the ball in a certain spot, I would imagine, every time. Like, where their hands are going to be. You're trying to miss them, right?
Well,
in a way?
Yeah. So
how does that, you take that into a game? Is any, like, mechanical anything going through your mind, or you just play?
Before the game, it's a lot of, like, mechanical, like, I got to do this and that. But when it comes to gameplay, I'm confident with myself knowing that this is kind of just muscle memory. So I just play my game.
And I didn't ask any of y'all this, and I can kind of go back and ask all of y'all. How long have y'all actually been playing volleyball, like each one of you? From, like, what age did you pick up playing the first time?
I started around 5 or 6 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you go play, like, club volleyball and things like that?
Yeah,
okay.
I've been playing club for a while now.
Okay. And the rest of y'all?
Abby?
I started playing volleyball my 7th grade year.
Okay.
I started in 4th grade.
Wow.
Yeah. And we see that all the time. Like, it gets younger and younger, it seems like, even with baseball and football now, you see it all the time. Kids are playing since they're 4 and 5 years old, and it's like...
The level of competition has, I'm sure Coach Greg's going to see it, the level of competition just skyrocketed with more and more club play. I know it is pretty competitive out there, and y'all girls did a good job last night.
Is that kind of the reason you see, and I know it's you lack the seniors, but is that kind of the reason you see some of the younger ones playing more so than some of the older girls, because they've been playing longer and they're just have more experience?
Well, I'm going to say I would think part of our senior problem is that was the COVID year.
Okay.
So I think that's end of that era. Like, that happened their freshman year. So it was as you were coming into your freshman year is when we didn't have anything, right?
Yeah, we didn't have like normal tryouts or anything.
Right.
Like, we just
So
started school.
I think that was part of the problem. You had fewer numbers start out, like not as many tried out, and so it was just, kind of trickled down from there.
But you had said that the numbers are back up to where
Oh yeah.
they usually.
Yeah.
What would the numbers be in the 7th and 8th grade now?
Both middle schools, both 7th grade have 24 on each team, and then both 8th grades have 22. So.
And out of that many, how many usually get
we
to
will
be
have like
up to the
about
varsity
70
level?
tryout at the freshman level.
And percentage-wise, as far as those 24 that are on that team, how many usually make it?
Usually
Finish all the
it's
way and
5
get
to
up to the
6.
varsity. 5 or 6.
Last year was an exception. Like, there's never usually 8 or 9.
But that's a good thing.
Well, I mean, we're not like a Cornerstone that carries 20. We don't have 22 athletes that look like that. When the coach, who's 6'1", is the shortest person on the sideline.
Oh,
I mean, that is crazy.
Well, but when you can recruit, it makes a big difference.
I'm not
too.
saying they recruit. I'm saying we
Well, I
don't look
said
like
that.
them.
Yeah.
I said
We don't
that.
look like them.
I said
like-
that.
there's no way you can carry that many people because they're just not.
We just don't
that
have the
level.
numbers to
Yeah,
pick from.
right.
So
No, it makes sense.
it is what it is.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Well, ladies, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Good luck to y'all on the season, and Marcus will be there doing the game on Friday night. And hopefully we'll see some of y'all back here as the season goes on and
When the playoffs
playoffs
start.
start and
Okay,
that kind of thing.
Sounds good.
And we are going to take a break and come back, and then we'll transition into football. And Coach Britt, you're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue in a moment.
Dodson House Moving and Construction is a fourth-generation company operated by the same family for over 75 years. We do turnkey work from moving your structure, setting the foundation, and all your construction needs. Aluminum decking, concrete work, canopies, and any other need to make your project operational. From moving to construction, large or small, Dodson House Moving and Construction does it all. Located at 12939 Southwest Loop 410 in San Antonio. Give us a call at 210-628-1459.
Peerless Equipment, your South Texas irrigation experts. Peerless Equipment specializes in sales and service of irrigation equipment to the agricultural and wildlife industries. This includes hose reels, big guns, pivot systems, underground pipelines, turbine well pumps, booster pumps, motors, valves, and an inventory of much more. Stop by one of their locations in Hondo and Pearsall, or give them a call at 210-434-7867. Peerless Equipment, bringing water to you.
Are you ready for a vacation? Tanya with Travel by Design can help you with all your vacation destination needs. At no cost to you, she can plan all of the details tailored to your unique wants and needs. So all you have to do is enjoy your vacation. Tanya is a certified expert with Disney, Universal Orlando, and California, Sandals, and all cruise lines. Give Tanya a call at 830-931-4834 or visit her Facebook page, Tanya with Travel by Design, for all the latest specials and must-do vacations. Bush's Chicken, one of the oldest locations in Castroville, is proud to serve the Medina Valley area. Bush's Chicken has one goal: be the best. Bush's Chicken knows its success comes from loyal customers in the communities they serve. Stop by Bush's Chicken on Tuesday and get the Tender Tuesday deal, or try their buffalo fries and ask about their Panther special. It's always a hit. Bush's Chicken, 935 Highway 90 East in Castroville. Call them at 830-538-2800.
Tondre Gwynn Funeral Home in Castroville, Texas, has been providing funeral services to families in the Medina Valley and surrounding areas for many generations. Tondre Gwynn Funeral Home is proud to support the broadcast by the Medina Valley Broadcast Network for the athletes and students participating in this event. Go Panthers! Tondre Gwynn Funeral Home, Castroville, Texas. You may view obituaries at Tondre, Tondre-Gwynn, Guinn.com, or visit the Facebook page of Tondre Gwynn Funeral Home to view funeral notices. Sammy's Restaurant and Habeas Alsatian Bakery, two legendary landmarks in Castroville. From breakfast to delicious hometown lunch specials and more, Sammy's satisfies your taste buds with the unique flavor of Castroville. And from fresh baked breads to pies and pastries, South Texans have made Habeas Alsatian Bakery a must-to-visit since 1940. Sammy's Restaurant, online at sammysrestaurant.com. Habeas Alsatian Bakery, online at habeasbakery.com.
All right, welcome back to Sports for Supper as we had volleyball on, and now we're going to transition into football. And Coach Britt, thank you for joining us again this week. We appreciate you being here.
Yes, sir, always. Glad to be here.
Tell us a little bit about we'll start with the John Jay game. Just take us through that a little bit and your thoughts on it, and then we'll move on because you got first district game coming up this week.
We went into that deal. I was excited to play John Jay. Coach Gutierrez, a good friend of mine. Excited to go in and play a 6A opponent with some pretty good athletes. That's a really good football team. So it really, for us, at least going into it, I knew going in that they were going to be pretty good and that we were going to be able to see what we can do right now. One thing it's going to do is going to allow us to fix some things. Obviously, it didn't go in our favor. We started out slow. Offensively, we had some missed assignments. Some of our technique wasn't great up front. Missed some throws offensively at times as well. And then defensively, we didn't spill. Honestly, it's really what it comes down to. We didn't wrap up and tackle very well early. The speed of the game got to them pretty quick, and then we just weren't spilling pullers, which caused some things to hit tight where guys weren't, and we were out of position. So once we settled down and honestly, it sounds terrible, but, you get down like that, and it's kind of the same motto as the first week. But went in, I told them at halftime, I wasn't going to tell them the same thing. Like, right now, we just need to get better. We need to fix things that we screwed up on. We made some adjustments, scheme-wise, players-wise, things like that. And we came out, we scored on an opening drive. We got a stop. We got a fourth down stop. Defensively gave up a goose egg in the second half, mainly because we started spilling pullers and things, that technique that we teach. Then offensively, we were able to put one in. I had chances to put another one in. I probably got a little gunslinging happy late. Probably should, we had them down. They were getting tired, so, probably should have hit the ball off a little bit more. But ultimately, you're chasing points and you're chasing time. And so, but at the end of the day, we came back, went to work Saturday morning. The kids came in and we played Panther ball. Back in the day, we used to do snakes and all kinds of crazy things to run whatever they call lactic acid out, right? All the soreness out. But we play Panther ball, so we get out there and we compete, run around, play for 25, 30 minutes. We lift, and then we watch the film. And then we ate together, and then we went home, and the coaches stayed, so we closed out the game, But, that was John Jay. I actually talked to Coach Gutierrez Saturday. He's a good friend of mine. And so love playing him. Number one was a kid that went to my middle school, so I've known him forever. I've known Gary's son since he was young, but it's a class act program. They do a good job. So.
And, you saw some athletes that you're probably not going to see the rest of district on their team. They've got some very good athletes. They're quick. You might not see that kind of quickness again, but you can learn a lot from it by playing a team like that.
Yeah. They had good athletes. You just never know what people really have.
Right.
everybody's going to have a few that can go.
Right.
But, for us, it teaches
They have
us
a lot.
leverage. They
Yeah.
have quite a few, don't get me wrong. But it teaches us leverage. It teaches us being gap sound. It teaches us, hey, we're telling you to lateral step, crossover, bear crawl, come up on 3. You better do it when that guy's like outweighs you 200 pounds up front, So, because if not, you play them high, they're going to get your butt kicked. So, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I wish we would have played them a little bit better. We had our chances. We missed some throws at times. They got some balls knocked down. And then we made some throws, at times too. So, ultimately, we could have played better.
That's kind of one of the points I was, I heard, during the off-season time, how good the 7-on-7 team looked, and everybody was, really enthused. The quarterbacks were maturing, the receivers were,
of course,
out, and it doesn't seem like it's shifted.
Yeah, I think game speed.
And I guess it's good. I guess it might be game speed and maybe just getting some more of them involved, I don't know. That's something that I was looking forward to seeing because I heard great things about how good the 7-on-7 looked.
You've got some young quarterbacks though
absolutely.
that don't. When you think about it, you hear the names because they were around last year.
Yeah.
But really, they don't have that much playing experience, and I think the more reps they get, the better they're going to look.
Oh, of course. I don't want y'all to ever confuse 7-on-7 and football. There's two different things.
Oh, I know. There's a lot of rush and
7-on-7
stuff like that,
is there's a lot of space. You can check it down. There's no pressure on you. There's time. But even then, 4 seconds, ball's off, So I don't really, I'm not gonna lie. Like we dropped the ball a little bit the other night at times too. Inopportune times we missed some throws. We got ball throws knocked down. If you go back and you look at, say, a penalty, knockdown ball, say a couple missed balls, and then you take a couple drops out, like you just completed 7 more footballs, so you probably threw for 200, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really look at it as that. Now we are playing football, so it's a little bit different, you know what I'm saying? It's 7-on-7, they don't have film. They got film on us, just like we got film on them. So there's a schematic standpoint of it that comes into play.
You don't want to show everything. And what I was going to ask you is I want to know who you made mad that they're running all these gadget plays, and and they could save them for when they really needed it.
Yeah,
and they're
swinging gates
plays
and all that kind of stuff.
We knew. Okay, so like I said, I was in Northside for 14 years. Obviously, Coach Gutierrez has got a few tricks up the sleeve. That was one of them. I've seen it before. Obviously, he caught us when we were trying to sub personnel and just got us at the right time. We were aware of it. Swinging gate, we were aware of it. We practiced it all week. They just out-leveraged us. Once they put the kid in motion, they out-leveraged us on the outside and made a play. It just is what it is at that time. So I don't think I made anybody mad. If I did, oh well.
I was going to say, they're throwing the whole kitchen sink at you the second week of the season.
Then obviously we're doing something right. So if they're doing that. But now, more than likely, if I had to take a guess, he probably wanted to get it on film. It's just like everything else. You want to put things on film so your next opponent has to see it and they have to plan for it, and it takes 5 minutes away from them doing something else that they could be doing. So, maybe that's what it was. I don't know. I didn't ask him. I did talk to him on Saturday. I talked to him on Sunday as well. But that's fine. We have some gadgets too, but we got to get a little bit more consistent offensively and stuff.
Well, and we can, John Jay's in the past now. You've got Southwest Legacy this week. You got your first district game this week. Tell us what you're looking at from them. Like what are they good at? What are their strengths? Kind of thing, and what are y'all trying to accomplish this week?
They play an even front again. They mix up coverage quite a bit. They like to send pressure. They're going to rip and Liz us off the edge. They're going to dog bees with the inside backers. From that standpoint, they do a lot, honestly, on the defensive side. Like you're going to see cover 1, you're going to see some cover 2, they're going to roll 3, they're going to play some cover 3, they're going to play 0 man. So it's going to be one of those deals where, if they guess right or, off of tendencies, which obviously we look at our tendencies as well. If they guess right, they could hit us in the mouth, at some points. Same time, we call the right play at the right time based off their tendencies, and maybe we hit them in the mouth. It's just kind of one of those things. Defensively, offensively, they've got an older quarterback. He's back, and they've got a younger kid that will come in as well. They've got a sophomore running back. He plays both sides of the ball, outside linebacker and running back, and so he's a pretty good-looking kid. Moves around pretty well. Coach Bruce is his offensive guy, and so they run his normal pro twins and things like that he's been running. So I'm excited to play him. I talked to him today, sub-varsity stuff, but again, I'm excited to line up and play again on Friday night over there, for sure. So.
And that matchup we've seen over the last few years has become kind of a rivalry.
Of course.
There's been some close games.
Yeah.
The schools aren't far apart, and Southwest is the same way. Tell us a little bit about how to keep your kids kind of more mentally focused on the game instead of getting caught up in kind of some of that,
I got you. That's funny. So I'm not really a kumbaya kind of guy. Okay? So I'm a football coach, and so yesterday, me and my defensive coordinator, Coach Lynn Hart, and Coach Medley, we go down middle school and stuff. We're sitting there game planning, and we're like, you know what? Let's get all the kids together, the varsity kids. We separated them, and let's talk about what we're thankful for. And it was a moment, honestly, because me, we watch film every morning for about an hour. It is what it is. 7:30, 8:30, we're gonna be watching film. For me, I just want to start talking ball, but it allowed me to slow down. Because I'm like a go kind of guy. It allowed me to slow down and make sure the kids knew how thankful, I was as a head coach for them, how thankful I was for the staff. It allowed us to open up and talk to the kids about something other than football, honestly. Like, it was just us sharing what was on our heart. Each coach, defensively, offensively, stood up, said what they had to say, and each kid on the varsity, offense and defense, stood up and said what they were thankful for as well. It was eye-opening, I'll tell you. It was eye-opening for me to sit there and do that. And I'm not going to lie to you, I showed them a Deion Sanders deal about the purpose of practice, because Deion beat up on TCU, and, practice with a purpose. Show them that too, but I had a chance to listen to number one, Carter Hewitt, plays, offense for us, and, sometimes he's in some packages defensively, special teams. He made a comment, and then Anthony Guerrero made a comment as well, that it's awesome to have the opportunity to mentor the younger kids. We got a junior running back, Ryan Rincon, who is a good back. We've got a sophomore out there playing the slot right now, Jaden Tisetto, a good kid, but those seniors made comments about having the opportunity to mentor the younger kids, to show them the ropes of what it means to be a varsity football player, what it means to do this, constantly talking about the game, and for them to share that, to talk about that. I mean, honestly, it was pretty awesome to hear.
Yeah. Humbling experience. I mean,
100%.
It's you always think of football player being big, bad, and nasty, but you got to have a little bit of heart in there too.
Well, I mean, we're all emotional, and so I think that's a good thing. I think it's good to take a step back sometimes. You got to think outside the box a little bit. I mean, me, I'm over here like, let's play, let's line up and let's hit each other. But I'm glad that my coordinators were like, hey, this would be a good idea. And obviously, we meet every morning at 5:45 in the morning, and so it was brought up, and so we decided to do that in the afternoon.
It's a good show of leadership from two experienced players going into district.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yes.
Yep.
100%.
So they're the Titans are they more run heavy, pass heavy?
They're a little bit more run heavy than what they have been.
And what is their defensive scheme?
They're going to play an even front. They've shown a bear a little bit here and there. So odd 33 was Sam On's, Sam Will on. So a 50 back in the day, essentially. But bear front, and they're going to play an even front. I think they base out of two. They've shown a little bit more like they wanted to play one high, a little bit more than what they have in the past. I would expect some of that just because of what Jay just did to us, playing us one high. We knew that going in, just because but you play one high, you get more guys in the box, so you better be able to run the football. Play physical up front. If not, you got to throw the ball to win the ball game. So I would expect them to play some 3, but they mix it up, man. They do a good job. They play man coverage. They roll some guys out there. Number 9 will be in the middle. He's their Mike. 22 and 1 will be off on the outside. 42's got a motor. He's a good end. He plays. He's got good energy, and then 28's the other end. He plays pretty well as well. So
you corrected a lot of the pre-snap penalties. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Was there even one? I don't even remember.
There's some delay. The delay game.
But
we had we got.
You had some
illegal
offsides.
Motion.
Yes.
We had illegal motion. We had a couple offsides. We had the delay of game.
But there was no false start. I didn't see an illegal procedure, maybe one. But, it was a lot cleaner than what we saw against Kerrville. And that's just what you want. It got better.
Yeah.
Now you're in the 3rd week of the season. Yeah. It should get better. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's what you like to see is just progress.
I kind of look at it as like week 5. I mean, with us not doing spring ball and having the 2 scrimmages, it's nice because you get to walk in. I kind of look at it like we're a little bit further along. Really, for us right now, it's going to come down to execution. I mean, that's really what it's going to come down to. Offensively to execution, defensively is playing technique and being able to tackle most times. You can do those things and we're going to be okay. I thought we did a good job for the most part in special teams. I thought Butler, that's why he's back here.
Is he here? I wanted to mention him because Medina Valley hasn't seen a good punter in a while, and he had some excellent punts.
I brought him, and he is back there. He has the biggest truck in town, and so it is ginormous. It's something else, honestly. But yes, he is behind me, so I'm excited for him to be here as well.
I mean, he got one down in the between the 1 and the goal line right there at the little half.
Yeah, let's talk about that one. So, man, so it's funny. I don't want to get too much into this rabbit hole, but so we pin them. It's right there before the half, right? And so they call timeout. They come out, and they basically had intentional grounding in the end zone.
There was no receiver. They wasn't outside the tackle box.
I will say this. We obviously, I'm not talking bad about Tasso because I thought they did a good job. But I went over. Me and DC went over to him at the half, and I said, look, that right there is intentional grounding. Receiver was not even close. He was inside the numbers. They said, well, he was close. We got to call it. Well, we sent it in. We got what we wanted back. It was intentional grounding. It was a safety. But it is what it is. You can't yell at them because this judgment call, a lot going on, And so because of the awesome special teams, because of the pin, because of the great kick, we pin them, had the opportunity to get 2 more points because of what we did. So, what I actually appreciated from Tasso in this whole deal is they actually commented, we feel really bad to take away from an amazing special teams play from pinning them on the 2 because of our bad call, and it just is what it is. I appreciate it. I thanked them for it, hey man, I'm gonna mess up too, hindsight's 2020. I probably shouldn't have went for it on 4th and 4 on the 45, but I'm pretty, I'm gonna go get it. But at the same time, I didn't want to put my defense back out there. We had the play was good, we just didn't execute it, so it just is what it is, just little things. But I did want to mention that from a special team standpoint, it's nice to see when other people recognize that,
Yep. Well, Coach, you got anything else? Nope. We need to move on to the players. Coach, Thank you for joining us.
Hey, awesome, man. I appreciate it. I really do. I really enjoy coming talking to you guys, man.
And good luck coming up in district play.
Yes, sir. Appreciate
starting this week, so that's new season.
What is the game plan for tomorrow? Is the freshman 2 games?
Freshman is 2 games there. JV is 1 game here. Yep, JV is 1 game here.
Awesome.
And then freshman is 2 games there.
Both at 5:30 starting time?
5:30 for the JV. I have to go back and look at maybe 5 and 6:30 for the freshman there. I'd have to go back and look at my notes.
Freshman is at Legacy?
Freshman is at Legacy. JV is here. It's going to be 1 game with the JV.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Coach. And we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and then we'll come back with the 3 players that you brought with you. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we will continue in just a moment.
Dotson House Moving and Construction is a fourth-generation company operated by the same family for over 75 years. We do turnkey work from moving your structure, setting the foundation, and all your construction needs. Aluminum decking, concrete work, canopies, and any other need to make your project operational. From moving to construction, large or small, Dotson House Moving and Construction does it all. Located at 12939 Southwest Loop 410 in San Antonio. Give us a call at 210-628-1459.
Are you ready for a vacation? Tanya with Travel by Design can help you with all your vacation destination needs. At no cost to you, she can plan all of the details tailored to your unique wants and needs. So all you have to do is enjoy your vacation. Tanya is a certified expert with Disney, Universal Orlando, and California, Sandals, and all cruise lines. Give Tanya a call at 830-931-4834 or visit her Facebook page, Tanya with Travel by Design, for all the latest specials and must-do vacations.
Peerless Equipment, your South Texas irrigation experts. Peerless Equipment specializes in sales and service of irrigation equipment to the agricultural and wildlife industries. This includes hose reels, big guns, pivot systems, underground pipelines, turbine well pumps, booster pumps, motors, valves, and an inventory of much more. Stop by one of their locations in Hondo and Pearsall or give them a call at 210-434-7867. Peerless Equipment, bringing water to you.
Welcome back here to Sports for Supper, and we have 3 football players joining us here, and we'll start right in front of me, and if you'll give us your name, number, position, that kind of thing here in school, and we'll go from there.
All right, good evening, guys. I'm happy to be here. I am Brendan Butler. I'm 84. I am the punter and outside linebacker for Medina Valley Panthers. I'm working back from an injury. I got AC sprain in my right shoulder, so they've been keeping me out, just letting me punt the last couple games, so should be good to go for this week and work back in there.
And are you junior, senior?
What? I am a junior.
You're junior. So punting, how did you get that role? And you you're from what we've seen, you're good at it. So is that something you practiced before, or did you just all of a sudden say, "Hey, I can do this"? Or
so my punting days would all. That would have to go back to middle school. Let's see. James could help me out here. He was in middle school with us. But it was our quarterback that was our punter in our middle school days. So first game, he had a couple of shanks, and that practice after the game that week, the coaches were looking for a new punter. So they had a couple tryouts, a couple kids before me go. I stepped up, caught the ball from the center, just kicked the crap out of it, so to say.
And it just went from there.
Yeah, just went from there.
So
working on it, getting better, going to some camps, trying to hone in my skills. That's hopefully my ticket to college. I love doing it. It's a fun thing for me to do.
Medina Valley's had a punter go to college from that the Signer kid who went to Oklahoma State, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and watching it, and a lot of people don't think about this, but you kick high spirals, you don't outkick your coverage, and then the other thing is getting the ball down where you did last week. Does that pump you up? Like, is that what you're shooting for?
Does.
Like, what does that feel like when you're like, yeah, I got that?
It sure lights a fire inside me, but every time I get a bad shank, it sure takes a toll, but I've learned over the years not to let it affect me. Just go on to the next one. You get it where you can get it, and then let it go from there.
Now, we've seen you do some, that was more like a rugby-style kick where you kind of go off to the side and kick it kind of low and let it go. Are those things like you work on in practice, like different forms of kicking it and getting different results from it?
Yep.
Is it predetermined where you're going to kick it, or do you see if they got 2 men back, if they got 1 man down? Does a coach call it on the sidelines maybe and say, hey, we want to
do
kick it to the coverage on the left side or the right side?
That all depends on the read we get from the returning side of the ball. So we usually let them line out in front of us, and we get the read, and then Coach Gutierrez will call it from there.
Gotcha. And you got guys running at you. Does that affect you at all? Like, what's going through your head when that happens, or are you just focused on getting the kick away?
Well, usually I just watch the two outside guys. If some of my bulls slip their blocks, I got to get it off a little bit quicker than normal, and I take faster steps, faster through the whole motions, getting it off quick, and just hoping it goes the way I want it to.
And you mentioned that you're coming back from an injury, but you also play outside linebacker.
Yes, sir.
Is that something you're hoping to get into the game more as the year goes on, or?
That is actually a newer spot for me.
Okay.
I got moved there after our starter, he got hurt. So they called me up from the D-line. They had me on D-line. Just asking if I would like to try it out for a couple reps, see how I do.
Yeah, because last year you were on the defensive line, correct?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yep. And so have you kind of embraced the punting role? You enjoy doing that? Yep.
Honestly and truly, I do enjoy it.
That's cool. Role. Well, like you said, that's your ticket right there.
That's
every team looks for a good punter.
Absolutely.
So everyone needs one. So, and do you play any other sports other than football?
I do track.
You do track? What do you do?
I throw. And I'm trying to get into some of the long jump, some of that stuff, field area. I'm not the fastest runner. But yeah, throw. I do disc and shot, and then long jump.
Awesome.
What is your routine during the day? How do you work on getting your height? How do you work on getting your length? What are some of the drills that you do that helps you with your punting?
Some of those drills I've been taught at different college camps I go to. There's one that really works on my spiral and accuracy. It's called punt pass. It's where I have a guy maybe 10, 15 yards away from me, get a nice little drop, and spin it up in my hands, catch it, and then work through my 3 steps, drop, nice, maybe medium type kick, just get the nice spiral all the way to my guy, 15 yards away. See how accurate it is.
Yeah.
Try to get it all the way
That
there.
makes sense.
Are you more into distance, or are you more into elevation, or both?
Right now, I'm trying to work on more distance. I think I've got height pretty well taken care of. I've been trying some new techniques to try to get more distance. I'm still working on that right now.
Cool.
Do you drop it, or do you kind of more or less lay it on your foot?
It's a
There's some of them
it's a
that drop it,
combination
or some of them that.
Depends on the play we run for the punt, but it is a combination of both.
Yeah, and it depends on kind of the style of the punt you're looking at.
Yes.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, good luck in the season coming up here. District starting. Tell us a little bit. What do they have for like return men? And are you the last guy back? Like in case something happens and he does get a return and you're back there and.
Yes. So usually after I punt it, I hang back, play safety type, and just if they get through the first line of defense, I'm the last guy to try to tackle him.
Because there's no one wants to see from the punting team's perspective. Nobody wants to see the bigger return, but there's nothing better than watching a punter lay somebody out. I love that. A kicker or a punter getting a big. I love that. There's nothing better than that.
Yeah.
Well, good luck in this season coming up, and hopefully we'll see you later down the line and next year. And we'll move on to the next young man that's here with us. And if you'll give us your name, all that good stuff. And
I'm James Stanton. I'm a junior. I'm number 7, and I play safety.
And tell us a little bit about what you're going to see from Southwest Legacy offensively, what they do offensively.
They really like to run the ball. It's really just over and over, run the ball, and then they'll try to take a deep shot. If they don't get it, they'll run, deep shot, run.
They try to pad you a little bit and then try to beat you over. Then as a safety, how do you stay home and not come up to, bite on that?
It's really all my reads. Like when my guy blocks down, I got to come down and make sure I'm forcing the edge or running the alley. But if he's sitting back and blocking, and the quarterback drops back, I got to get back into my zone and drop and help my corners out over the top and everything.
And as far as receivers go, they've got some pretty quick guys, tall guys? What do they have there?
They have a lot of quick guys, not too many tall.
Does that what's harder to face, the size or the quickness?
For me personally, I would say the quickness, because I'm not the fastest guy out there, but it's hard to, how do I say, get a hold of them when they're moving around real fast.
Gotcha.
So what would you rather, run support, or would you rather
definitely run
pass?
support.
Run support?
Yes, I like to come down and make tackles and force fumbles and everything.
So who calls the defensive secondary? Does the linebacker call it, or who's the
on the field?
The captain on defense on the field?
Well, for the secondary, the safeties call the secondary coverage, and the linebackers call the defensive front.
So you'd be one that would call the coverage? Does it depend on strong side or weak side, or are you always, when you're out there, are you always the one that makes the call?
It's between me and the other safety. It really depends on the strain. There's a bunch of factors. The strain, how many receivers, what their formation is, tendencies, all that.
Yeah, how many guys
usually out there when you're out there?
My other safety?
The other safety, yeah.
Dylan Allen.
Dylan? And y'all rotate quite a bit out there, don't you? Or
not too much, just because we have a lot of injuries right now, so we really just have 2 guys out, and when we need to bring them in, we can.
Is it a little different preparing for a district game than a non-district game? Because this is your first one. You've had 2. Is it a little different this week preparing for it, or no?
Definitely. The energy is way higher. Everyone's really pumped up, trying to get the whole team together and just trying to get this dub, start district off right, and hopefully make a good run.
When you go play at another team's stadium like that, is there anything that goes through your head there? Or is it just it's another football game? It's going to be as loud as it is, here. How do you?
It's a little different, but I honestly like playing away. I like to be a villain and
spoil the party.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. What else, guys?
What would you rather, intercept a ball or pick a fumble up and go all the way? What would you rather do?
Or force the fumble.
Or force the fumble.
I probably
put a good stick on somebody and force a fumble, or
I'd probably rather force the fumble. Like, I feel like whenever you hit somebody real hard, they drop it. It just brings a whole different type of energy through your body, through your team. Like, it's just a whole different experience.
How do you guys? There's so much with the targeting rules and all that kind of stuff now. How do you kind of keep away from that? Because as a safety coming up to make plays on people running, they're lowering their heads and things happen like that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you kind of keep that? Is it a keep your head up kind of thing, or how do you do that?
It's more of you come in fast, and you got to keep your body under control as you're coming in to make contact. You got to watch where you're hitting and see where the ball is and all aspects like that.
Because it used to not be something you really had to think about. And now, the last 10 years, it's something you have to think about, or you find yourself not in the game.
Yeah. And sitting out the next game.
Yeah, exactly.
Half of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess those are things you go through, the coaches go through with you all the time, like, hey, you can't do that, you can't do that.
Yeah, we run plenty of drills, and like when they throw the ball, not to necessarily hit them or ball hawk, but still, if you're not getting there in time, you got to lay a hit.
And another thing is a defensive person that's back there, and I know most of the time you probably don't have a lot of blockers on you unless their linemen get up into the second and third level. When you got blockers that are really like holding you and it's not getting called, how does that affect you mentally, when it's not getting called and there's nothing you can do about it except keep playing?
If anything, it just makes you kind of angry. Like, the next time they try to block you, you're really just going to run right through them or put them on the ground and go make a play on the ball, because it just gets frustrating after a while.
Yeah, because, you see it, and, you can call holding on every play, they say, but, sometimes it's blatant and it doesn't get called. Mm-hmm. We saw some against Jay that blatantly didn't get called, and it's kind of like, how do you keep going knowing that, hey, they're holding me every time? And you can't win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of guys get very frustrated, but you really just have to focus on the next play and use it to your advantage.
Well, and you can't say anything because you're going to get penalized for saying something. So it's more, the coaches have to advocate for you. And I would imagine y'all go off and be like, look, they're holding me. You got to do something about it.
Yeah, some guys mention it to the refs and then just like, hey, please watch this guy. He's holding me real bad.
Yeah, like you have to know how to talk to him. Like there's a certain repertoire you have with them.
Yeah, you have to have a lot of respect.
That's cool.
Well, the defense, he'll attest to it. Everything now is for the offense to score points. You can't even hardly touch a receiver and they can get away with pushing off and this and that, and you never see it called one way, and that's got to be frustrating too when you say, hey, I was in position until he pushed me off and gets a step on me, and then there's nothing I can do.
An underthrown ball. I mean, you turn around to make a play, they underthrow it, and you run into the receiver. You just got 15 yards, and there's really nothing you can do about that, you know. So, I mean, there's a lot of things as a safety and a defensive back that you've got to think about, you know, during a game, and that's a difficult position to play.
Yeah, because if you're seeing their number from the back,
that's not good.
That's not good. That's not good. That means they're pretty much fixing the score. But y'all have done a good job. I didn't ask him, but we're going to ask him after the game.
Oh yeah, your predictions. So you got to do that, but that'll be later. We'll do that with all three. And do you do other sports?
Yes, I do track and field.
And what do you do in track?
I do triple jump.
Triple jump?
Yes,
cool.
Sir.
What's your personal best triple jump?
Man, I have no clue. It's not really like my favorite thing, to be honest.
Oh.
But.
And did you say you're a junior or a senior?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior, so
yes, sir.
Back next year.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Well, he was there. You were there.
Yeah, you were there last year. Yeah, I remember saying your name.
Same number, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, well, good luck Friday night, and we'll move on to the next young man that's here tonight. And if you'll give us your name and all that good stuff.
My name's Jonathan Burns. I'm number 67, and I'm the center.
And we've had you here before on the show. Yep, I remember you being here. So you moved from a different line position to center this year.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about that transition for you.
So I transitioned probably towards the end of the school year when we got the new offensive install and everything. I moved from tackle to center. And immediately there's a huge difference. Pass rush isn't the same, blocking scheme isn't the same, and so it took a lot of adjustment, to get used to that and just figuring out how to snap a ball.
That's not an easy thing to do when you've got someone who's 250, 270 or bigger lined up right over the top of you, I would imagine.
I just get used to it.
Yeah.
So.
But people take that for granted.
Yep.
That it's always supposed to be right on target. It's supposed to be perfect. It's not.
How many repetitions do you have to go through to get that down?
Like a good snap period?
Yeah. Because when you first do it, it's not perfect. So you had to work through to get it how your quarterback wants the ball and things like that.
It took me probably 4 weeks with 3 different methods of snapping to finally get it the way that the coaches want it and the quarterbacks wanted it.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. How big, it's not just as easy as get the ball back there. There's a lot that goes into that because quarterbacks want it a certain way when it gets to them and things, and I would imagine you have to make it happen. So, or at least get it close.
Yeah.
But, tell us a little bit about snapping the ball, and you got a guy right there. So what changed blocking scheme-wise for you? What's the biggest change?
I think the biggest change going from tackle to center is, my hands being, semi in between my legs before I'm even making contact, opposed to tackle where I'm off the ball and I'm hitting someone. And so, with the nose, I think a nose is probably one of the hardest guys to block just because he is, right on top of the ball. And so I have to shoot my hands out fast, and I have to get moving if I want to get around him or move him.
So it's easier for you when someone's not lined up right over the top of you when they're spread out a little bit. So against Legacy, your coach said they line up with an even front. Are they going to have someone covering you up, or are they going to be split out?
They'll sometimes run a double 1 or a 1 and a 3 or double 3s. So if it's going to the right and they're on 1, puts us in a good situation because I can crash that 1 really easily and just push them out of the way.
And as from an offensive standpoint, where y'all are, what does Legacy have defensively that y'all need to combat the most?
Their blitzes. They're going to blitz like crazy.
So they're going to bring extra guys.
They're going to bring everything.
Okay.
And so just the offensive line and everybody needs to be prepared and know where they're going and what they're getting.
Now, when you come up to the line and you're looking at that, is that your job to call out who, you think to shift the coverage and things like that, the blocking schemes, or is that just predetermined?
So we have calls between our guards and tackles and our guards and centers, and so everybody kind of has their own calls that they make, and then sometimes there's calls from the tackle to the center, so I know which way to block, and so everybody everybody makes their own calls as needed. But, if somebody's confused or anything like that, I help them ID, like, hey, you're getting this person, you're going here, you're doing this. So,
cool.
I imagine the biggest transition, and you mentioned it, you have to worry about centering the ball, getting it back there, and then getting your hands up, where when you were the tackle, your first move was that. Now you have to do something else and then get focused. I mean, that nose guard has the advantage on you a lot of times, especially if they get accustomed to the cadence and the count. That's a hard
it's like you said, they're right there because as a tackle, you're a little farther off the line than you would be as a center. You're the front man, and they're that far away from you.
Yes, sir.
And as a tackle, you're back a little bit, so you've got some room. How hard is it when you pass block? How hard is it to get that first step back? Like, what's easier centering the ball? Is it easier to go forward or backwards when centering?
It depends. So, like, if they were in a 1, I think that it's easy both ways because I can pass that to a 1 and I can fire off the ball in a 1. I think that kicking back's a little bit harder at center with a nose just because they have the advantage of they're already off the ball and across the line of scrimmage before, I'm maybe 2 steps back.
Moving forward where your momentum's taking you backwards. Yeah, no, that makes sense. What else, guys? Anything? What do you do other sports?
I do track and powerlifting.
Okay. And powerlifting, that's a fall thing, right? That's that's in the spring, right?
Yes,
yep. And track too, and do you throw and track?
Yes, sir. Shot and disc.
Shot and disc.
What's your personal best in those 2 events?
I did not throw. I'm gonna start throwing shot this year, but last year I think it was like 142, maybe somewhere in there.
And powerlifting, what is that? Is that something you take? What do you take more serious, track and field or powerlifting?
I mean, I take both of them equally as a serious every sport.
Cool.
But powerlifting takes priority when it's in season, and then track takes priority when it's in season.
Okay. And you're a senior, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you got any plans for after high school?
Hopefully to play ball somewhere.
Okay.
So I'm talking to coaches, trying to get there. But
is that one of the reasons you switched positions from? You think you have a better,
or was it just
opportunity as being a center, or was that just more needed as what the Panthers needed, or a little of both?
It's both.
Both.
Coaches think that I have a good opportunity of playing at the next level at center, so I'm there.
Because of the size, or
my size.
So we got to do the prediction thing because we do it every week on here. What are you calling for yourself this week?
How many pancake blocks?
Pancakes?
You don't get really that many opportunities at center as you did as tackle, but
I'd say there's pretty high chance. I'd say go 10 pancakes.
10.
Put a nice high number out there.
There you go.
All right, next.
James, an interception, a scoop and score,
forced fumble.
I'm definitely betting on an interception this game.
Right.
Like to hear that. And what are you trying to do?
Don't say a tackle because we don't want to hear that.
We don't want.
That means the coverage broke down.
That means our coverage gets blown. Let's see. Ooh.
Down
a certain yardage.
Let's say
down a couple inside the 10.
Yeah, let's say pin him inside the 10.
There you go.
Maybe a couple times. Get it 10, down, maybe even down to the 1. Hey, you never know.
And then come off the field and say, James, now it's your turn.
Yep.
We got him pinned down deep.
I want to ask you a question before we go. What's your longest punt in the air?
Ooh, longest.
Not with roll and everything, but
Let's see. In game, my longest in the air would have been. Ooh, I had a couple good ones last year that were over 45.
Yeah,
I
I
don't remember exactly pinpoint, but then practice I can, just because it's a lot less nerves in practice, I can get them maybe up to the 50s.
Yeah. Do you ever, like, in the game, you go to the sideline and you start counting, like, hey, that's how far I kicked or anything? Do you do that or no? Or
sometimes if it's a good enough kick, I'll try to sneak in a couple. Gotta count the lines every here and there.
We can't blame you for doing that. Well, guys, good luck this week coming up against Legacy, and we hope to see you guys back here again, and good luck on the season coming up. And we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back and kind of wrap things up. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue in a moment.
Sammy's Restaurant and Habeas Alsatian Bakery, two legendary landmarks in Castroville. From breakfast to delicious hometown lunch specials and more, Sammy's satisfies your taste buds with the unique flavor of Castroville. And from fresh baked breads to pies and pastries, South Texans have made Habeas Alsatian Bakery a must-to-visit since 1940. Sammy's Restaurant, online at sammysrestaurant.com. Habeas Alsatian Bakery, online at habeasbakery.com.
Bush's Chicken, one of the oldest locations in Castroville, is proud to serve the Medina Valley area. Bush's Chicken has one goal: be the best. Bush's Chicken knows its success comes from loyal customers in the communities they serve. Stop by Bush's Chicken on Tuesday and get the Tender Tuesday deal, or try their buffalo fries and ask about their Panther special. It's always a hit. Bush's Chicken, 935 Highway 90 East in Castroville. Call them at 830-538-2800.
Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home in Castroville, Texas, has been providing funeral services to families in the Medina Valley and surrounding areas for many generations. Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home is proud to support the broadcast by the Medina Valley Broadcast Network for the athletes and students participating in this event. Go Panthers! Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home, Castroville, Texas. You may view obituaries at Tandre, Tondre-Gwynn, Guinn.com, or visit the Facebook page of Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home to view funeral notes.
Dodson House Moving and Construction is a fourth-generation company operated by the same family for over 75 years. We do turnkey work from moving your structure, setting the foundation, and all your construction needs. Aluminum decking, concrete work, canopies, and any other need to make your project operational. From moving to construction, large or small, Dodson House Moving and Construction does it all. Located at 12939 Southwest Loop 410 in San Antonio. Give us a call at 210-628-1459.
Are you ready for a vacation? Tanya with Travel by Design can help you with all your vacation destination needs. At no cost to you, she can plan all of the details tailored to your unique wants and needs. So all you have to do is enjoy your vacation. Tanya is a certified expert with Disney, Universal Orlando, and California, Sandals, and all cruise lines. Give Tanya a call at 830-931-4834 or visit her Facebook page, Tanya with Travel by Design, for all the latest specials and must-do vacations.
Peerless Equipment, your South Texas irrigation experts. Peerless Equipment specializes in sales and service of irrigation equipment to the agricultural and wildlife industries. This includes hose reels, big guns, pivot systems, underground pipelines, turbine well pumps, booster pumps, motors, valves, and an inventory of much more. Stop by one of their locations in Hondo and Pearsall, or give them a call at 210-434-7867. Peerless Equipment, bringing water to you.
Welcome back for our third episode of Sports for Supper. We had Coach Griggs and Miss Tetford, Abby Beal, and Alana Smith for the volleyball, and then we had Coach Britt and Jonathan Burns, James Stanton, and Brandon Butler. So I want to thank them for joining us. It's very interesting again. And Marcus, I want you to let everybody know when to tune you in on Friday. It's going to be the first broadcast of Panther volleyball. So tell us a little bit about where the game is going to be and what to look forward to.
The game will be at South San, and if you get there early, you can watch freshman and/or JV starting at approximately 5 o'clock. The varsity is to follow soon after, once they get done warming up. It's scheduled for 6, but it usually depends on if they go 2 sets or 3 sets. And then also be aware the following Tuesday is going to be playing against Southwest at home.
At home.
At home. So those
at
games
home.
will
Okay.
be 5 and 6 as well.
And a reminder also for the if you're going to watch the volleyball or football or try to mix in a little of both, you have to go online to get your tickets. There are no tickets sold at the gate. You got to go on the hometown. What is it called, Jeff? Or
hometown, or you got to go through their school.
Yeah, the school
their
website.
school website.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or the other one is?
Usually
what y'all
they
say?
Hometown.
Hometown.
Yeah,
Okay.
usually they'll share a link, with the school, and they'll post it. I don't know if they've been doing that or not, but yeah, it's all digital now.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody takes cash anymore.
No. Well.
So, and it's easier for the bookkeeper, easier to keep track. So, is what it is. But with that being said, guys, your thoughts on moving forward into district play?
Well, I think that you saw a team last week that's probably the best team you're going to see.
Most athletic, for sure.
Most athletic as far as throughout the regular season. Now, that doesn't mean the district's a slouch by any means. They've got good players, but I think that coming off of playing a team like that, that's going to help you down the road.
Yeah.
And you're going to have seen, probably the quickest, most versatile, and then you've got the most on a team because their entire team was athletes.
Yes.
Where, all of them from the line to the receivers, secondary, everybody, they could move. They were quick. They were big and strong. And
you come out of that game thinking, you know what, we could have played with this team.
Yeah.
So there's a little confidence there.
A few
you
plays
cut out some
here and there.
mistakes.
Yeah.
You don't get down 29-0 at half.
30, yeah.
So you don't get down.
Nothing,
you get down 29-0 at half, and you really. You still have a chance if you don't give up that many points. And there again, there were 3 touchdowns scored in a 6-minute period.
Yeah.
So 21 points in a 6. You cut out a few of those mistakes. You eat up a little bit more of that clock, and maybe you're down 21 at half, which is a lot more manageable. Than 2 more scores.
100%. And if you think about it, they scored those 3 touchdowns very, very early, and it came after. I think the speed of the game. I don't think Medina Valley was ready for what they saw.
No, right.
And they stunned them, and the Panthers fought back. They got into the ball game, but seeing that kind of speed and stuff, that game speed.
No excuses though anymore.
No,
you're moving forward. You've seen speed. You've seen size. You've seen a Kerrville Tivy. There's nothing you haven't seen out of 2 games, you usually can't say stuff like that. So usually you play a team that you can beat up on, and what good does that do you when you dominate I hope no Hondo people are listening, but you go out there and you dominate a Hondo team. What do you get out of that?
Yep.
And
well, just to take somebody that's in our classification, you go out and you dominate a Memorial team.
Yes. Okay. There you go.
Okay.
Sorry for your Hondo fans.
What do you?
They chose not to play us anymore.
What do you accomplish?
Yeah, but now they're 2 divisions below us.
What do you accomplish in that game? You'd rather play a game, even if you lose, where you get something out of it, where you say, okay, these are the athletes that we're going to face.
Exactly my point.
Yeah, because an 0-2 record right now doesn't really mean anything because the only record that matters is the one that starts this Friday night in district.
And you're 0-0.
Yep. And, Legacy, that's become a kind of a bitter game over the last few years. We've had some come down to the last play of the game and certain 4th down plays right at the end and 2-point conversions and run back extra points and things like that. So I would imagine this is going to be a tough ball game. You're going to their stadium. It's the first game of district. Both teams are going to be ready to go. I think the penalties and the turnovers are what's going to be the difference in the game and who finishes drives.
Well, and it's still Southwest, whether it's Legacy or the Dragons.
Yep.
You're still, like when we went to school, they were still a rivalry, even in the Little League baseball program.
Well, and
you always had Southwest, so you knew
it's a rivalry.
You know everybody.
Yeah,
it's a rivalry.
And more so than not right now, the rumors have it, you can start guessing about the realignment and everything in the future. Southwest Legacy is going to turn in about the same or a little bit more than Medina Valley, and so they're both projected to go up to 6A. So they could be in the same district moving forward again for another 2 years until the new high school's built. And, so this is something that you've got to get a hold of, and you got to start winning. My dad used to always say, you go down the road and you make sure you beat Hondo and you let them know how it feels because you're going to beat them each and every year. And that was just how I was raised, So that's what you need to start doing with these Southwest schools. You got to go start beating them because right now they've been beating up on us the last couple of years. So you got to
both of them. Yep.
Yeah. So you got to start winning some of these games and putting it back on them. So look forward to having a lot of fun. And Marcus and I will be over at South San. We're going to broadcast our first volleyball game of the year. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing the rookie on the mic and how he handles the pressure of that fast volleyball game.
Thrown to the fire.
Yeah, well, I think you've been going to a few games, so I guess you've had your play headset there. You've been practicing,
I have. Mentally.
You'll do just fine, Marcus.
Just say what you see.
Be yourself.
Just say what you
I
see.
go to the game yesterday. I take my youngest one, Ryla John, who is loving the game of volleyball.
Joining us here tonight, too.
She is here tonight.
You want to talk? No.
And she goes, Papa, tell me what they're playing. Tell me what they're doing. How are you going to call it? And so I had mentally in my mind.
All right.
I'll be honest. I did not tell her. I was just saying it through my mind. So I'm looking forward to it. The girls do look good. I'm excited about it. It is something new for me. And I appreciate Jeff giving me the opportunity.
We're gonna support you. We're gonna support you. Every game we can. Sooner or later we're gonna turn you loose, though.
So I can tell you that when I first started doing this, I was 19, 20, and the first game I was so nervous because you don't want to screw up. People are listening. They're going to be critical and tell you what they think. But once you start, all that went away. So you'll be nervous up until the time you start, but once you start talking, that goes out the window because there's no room to be anymore.
And you're right. And I'll be honest,
you're not going to be
a couple of Dwayne's games.
Let me tell you, you're replacing a legend.
A legend.
Dwayne was pretty darn good at volleyball.
And you can say whatever you want, but there ain't no broadcaster that has not ever made a mistake.
No.
I mean, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Believe me, it happens. It still happens to me at least once a game. I mispronounce a name or say something I shouldn't say. So
that's why I took the opportunity to ask Abby, what do you want to be called, Abby or Abigail? Because they're going to listen, they're going to hear it, and I want to do them right.
Not only that, it's the mom and dads that are going to complain more than.
Oh boy.
The
so you're saying the comment sections might get interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we need to turn those off.
We don't let you see those while you're on there, though. You can see those afterwards.
No, you'll do fine.
But it's been great, Jared. Glad everybody came in tonight. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Looking forward to a great weekend.
Yep. Yeah, and tune in Friday night for the first volleyball broadcast. That's around a 6 o'clock start, depending on when JV finishes, and we'll be on the air there. And then also we'll be on the air around 6:40 at Southwest Legacy. It's a 7 o'clock kickoff for that game. First district matchup. It's not a far drive. Go out and support the Panthers. If you can't make it, you can tune in right here, watch it on TV, and listen to the ball game. Should be an exciting matchup. Both are first district matchups, volleyball and football. So exciting week for Panther sports, and hopefully
be a great Friday.
Yep, and hopefully next week we're talking about some wins here on Sports for Supper. And so for the Medina Valley Broadcast Network, for Jeff, Maury, and Marcus, I'm Jared Lucky.